Hi, this is Rebecca, and it's RLJ Perspective. Today's Monday, so we're going to talk about education. And we have something going on with our education system that is causing us to be a broken society. Now, I have a master's in education, and I absolutely love to work with kids. I like kids of all ages. I haven't met a kid ever in my whole life that I didn't like or that I couldn't work with. I think kids just, they are our future, and that's such a funky thing to say, but if we don't help them and prepare them for their adulthood, they're going to be a broken society when they're older. Now, you might think that since I'm talking about education that I'm going to tell you something about teachers being broken or the school system being broken or the government being broken. But I think that the problem that's going on with our society today is that our parents are not supporting our teachers. Parents are on board for all kinds of fun things like sports or basketball or games and parties and things in class, but when you say something to them about a book report or you ask them to have their child read for 15 minutes every night, they act like it's the end of the world. Well, let me tell you something. Teachers work really, really, really hard. They struggle every day with trying to make sure that they're not just reaching out to the students that are doing really well or the students that aren't doing really well, but they're also talking to those middle-of-the-road kids. And so your kid might actually be the kid that would read more than 15 minutes if his teacher didn't ask him to read for 15 minutes. But that's not what it's about. It's about supporting your teacher, about being there for the teacher. Kids in our society right now, they know that all they have to do is go home and complain, and the parent's going to be there with a whole court battle behind them so that they can sue the teacher for not treating their kid right. And sometimes it's true. Sometimes that teacher is not treating your kid right. But most of the time, it's homework or it's some kind of project that your child has to work on at home and you just don't want to do it. Parents won't support a teacher when they want children to do homework, but they'll support 2 hours of track practice every single night. They won't pass a school levy, but they'll make painted signs and support their sports teams like that's the most important thing. If sports left our schools today, it wouldn't be the end of academia. It would be the end of sports in school. Sports would continue, but the academics would end. We have to get behind our teachers. We have to get behind our school systems. We have to start supporting those teachers and helping them to understand that we're going to be there for them, that we're going to help them in this endeavor of educating our children. If we don't start teaching our children that education is important, then they're not going to care about going to high school and they're not going to care about going to college. And all of a sudden we're going to have a stupid society. I mean, there's movies out there that show us kids that aren't getting good educations. But think about the middle-of-the-road kids, the ones that are getting a good education but they're not being inspired to think because mom and dad aren't on board. You have to get on board. It's not too late. Start teaching your kids that sports are important, parties are important, fun is important, but academics are where it starts. If your kid can't read, he can't do science, he can't do math, he can't do history, and history is important. If we learn what history is about, what happened before us, maybe we won't repeat those same behaviors. I mean, think about Elvis Presley. I think that if Michael Jackson had studied a little bit more about what happened to Elvis Presley, maybe he wouldn't have done the same things that Elvis Presley did. History is important. Math is important. As we go through the next few months, we're going to talk about various topics with education, and one of the topics I'm going to touch on is the different types of academics that we have in school and what's more important and what's less important. But trust me, right now the important thing that you can do is get on board. Support your teachers. Be behind them. Don't talk bad about the teachers at home. Teach your children that their teacher is important and that their principal is important and that their school is important and the academics is important, and the rest of it will fall in place. Have a good day.